Welcome to the Ultimate Landscape CEO podcast. Our guest today is old school. He's the original OG, Steve Griggs from Blauvelt, New York. I probably mispronounced the city, but he's in the tri-state New York area. He has a business that is now design and project manage only, but originally he had a maintenance business, he had a build business. Now he does around 3.5 million in projects. And he's also author of Straight Dirt, which is a best-selling coffee table book that he uses for marketing and selling his work. He is very direct. If you want to hear an OG, the original OG, old school guy talk about what it's been like to work in the industry and to grow his business, what it's like working with clients that are very demanding, then this podcast you will enjoy very much. Let's jump right in. Here we go. Steve, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, Jeff.
So tell the audience about your current business, yourself and your business in its current setup.
Okay, Jeff. So we are located about 30 miles north of Manhattan, New York. And we have been doing this residential landscape design build for 35 years. So I am an OG back when they had the beepers, right? So the business now designs and develops and installs high-end backyards, and the model is a little different than typical design build. We actually design and project manage, and I will get into more of that, the reasons why and the benefits of it.
Yeah.
I've been doing this a long time.
And you've come out with a book. I guess we'll talk about that at some point. What's the name of it?
So the name of the book is Straight Dirt. So being from New York, we like to tell it like it is, as you know, because you originally from up here. So the New Yorkers tell it like it is. They don't sugarcoat anything. So me and the publisher came up with the book Straight Dirt, telling it like it is, kind of story on, the highs and lows of running a landscape business, what to look for in design, how to hire different contractors. And basically it's a coffee table picture book with a lot of pretty pictures in of jobs that we've done over the last 30 years.
You've done some fantastic work. How many projects under your belt, or is that too many to count?
Jeff, somebody asked me that, and I'd have to say, man, thousands of trees and bushes planted. Like, I don't even know, like 35 years is a long time.
Yeah.
I'm looking back at it now. I've been doing this since a long time. So a lot of projects ranging from small to big, right?
How many do you do a year now on average?
We'll do 20 hand-selected projects, 20 good projects, 20 to 30 nice projects. One of the good things about doing this for so long, it's referral business. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. I'm an open book. I'll tell you, the lessons learned, etc. And I'll just let you ask away. But the range of projects go. There is, what it's like. There's no shortage of variety of projects.
So how far do you travel for work? Do you stay in the tri-state? And I know everybody has a different definition of that, but the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut tri-state, or do you fly for projects?
I was in Sacramento in April. We were doing a job out in Sacramento. I've gone to Virginia, Hilton Head, North. I like staying close to home, obviously, but we'll go to Manhattan. It's mainly the tri-state area, New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey for the most 90% of the time. It's in that tri-state area.
So what's the average size if you're doing 20 jobs? Or what's the biggest size in a given year, or average, or both?
It ranges 30 jobs. The jobs range from 50,000 to 550,000, right? It kind of depends on, doing a swimming pool. The permit process takes a long time. It takes long. So there's a fee for doing all that work.
Yeah.
We're not a big company, but I do like the model because in the wintertime you don't have to carry that big overhead, right? But
Sure.
you have to really, we have a few project managers that run the jobs. Residential landscaping is tough. It's tough. The homeowners are demanding. You're in their backyard. You're tearing up their property. They want to know what's happening. They want to schedule. It has to move along. Otherwise, this thing will drag on forever.
And so you do have some full-time staff. Am I hearing that right?
Correct. Yes. We have 3 designers, 2 project managers, an expediter, and I have an office assistant. Yes.
So let me say that back to you. 3 designers, 2 project managers, an expediter, an office manager, and who does the estimating?
That would be, well, we'll design the projects, and then we call in our trade partners, and they'll price it out. I pretty much come up with the initial budget for the client.
Yeah. All right. So you're in sync with your trade partners. Meaning,
absolutely.
Like what they would charge more or less.
Yeah, absolutely.
How has the pandemic changed pricing in the last 3 years with your trade partners?
Everything has gone up, but everybody gets carried away. They kind of blame it all on the again, being from New York, you have to be a little street smart. You don't let the subs, dictate the pricing. The material has gone up, but the labor's the same. Everything's gone up a little bit, but it's not. That was a big excuse for the first couple of years.
Yeah,
I can't get material, I can't get supplies, but now nobody wants to hear your stories. Like, figure it out. Yeah. Really, figure it out.
So I'm trying to understand, for me and for the audience, your sort of org setup. So you got 2, what did you say, 3 designers, 2 project managers. So that's 7 employees, and you're doing 20 to 30 projects. Do you mind sharing revenue? I mean, if not, that's fine, but.
Ranges from 3.5 to 5.5.
Yeah. All right. That's good. And so how did you begin?
Again, some of the designers are not there. One designer is full-time, 2 are 1099, right?
Yeah.
So I have them, but what I'm saying? So we only have, it works good for me. The model works good. I've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
I had the trucks. I had the guys. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah. You got to know if it works for you or not. So you really got to know. I was telling you that my brother, Jamie, runs a pool. I'm going to give him a little shout out here. Runs a pool company in Wilton, works probably in all the same areas you do. And it's him and one other person. And they have their landscape trade partners, designers, and they have their trade partners who build. And so he's super lean, but I get your model. It sounds good. Take us how you got here. Tell us how you started, and it must have been super messy for you before you figured things out. Take us through that journey.
Like early on,
touch a couple points in your.
I went to Mississippi State. I got a landscape architecture degree. I got out, worked for a pool company up in Westchester area, and I figured that he's making all this money. So I basically went out on my own, 1980, whenever it was a long time ago, right? And we had the guys, we had the machinery. You had things breaking down. You would think you make $10,000 one week, but you find out you lose $20,000 because the truck broke down and all that. And now, when I was in the business early on, things have changed. Things have changed. A lot of these guys that were working for companies now started on their own business now. And I think they lack the business acumen for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. The hard workers.
You went to Mississippi State, so that's down near me in New Orleans. That's pretty far south for a Yankee.
Pretty south. I loved it.
And did you stay down here?
Yeah, I stayed down there. Went to school there. Then I got out, and then I was stayed there for like a year. Gotcha. And then I was like, time to get back to the north.
Yeah. And so you worked for a pool company, you said in Westchester County?
Yeah, in Westchester.
Somebody I know. We could, I'm from the pool industry here.
I don't think he's around anymore. Colonial Pools. I think he passed away. Oh, you probably know him. You know him. Your family knows him. Yeah. We went up against you guys a lot of times on jobs. He taught me a lot. I'll be honest with you. He taught me a lot. He was from Italy. He taught me how to really prepare for the client. He taught me how to really look at things that don't make sense. Like if you're putting a pool with a rock out, try to build something unique. And it was really all about customer service and really getting in there. And that's really where I learned a lot. As in addition to working for my father in Manhattan on my Christmas vacations when I was home, no excuses, get the job done. And that's what I think has helped me, get a lot of referral business from that.
Okay. So you worked for him and then you started your own pool company. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, landscaping, bought a truck, $500.
Yeah.
Just did whatever,
And so
the regular story.
what's the most employees you ever had when you were doing the work yourself, when you were self-performing?
15. I mean, a lot of them guys went on their own now, and I use them to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I helped them get started, and they were like, I helped them. They still work for me today. A lot of them.
Yeah, that's great.
They do their own jobs as well. Yeah, yeah. I think that, everybody deserves a shot.
Okay. And so how many years in before you figured out you're going to go the design project management route? When did that version sort of
20 years. 20 years beating my head against the wall.
and so what year was that when you made the shift?
20 years ago. I don't know. It had to be 20 years ago. Had to be a long time ago.
Okay. So you've been working at this model for quite a bit. Well, take me through some of the some of the scars, the lessons learned, even in this model, that mistakes you've made or problems you've had along the way.
Jeff, we can spend 3 hours on the pitfalls and the pain and everybody. It's not what you think it is. The buck stops with the guy who's getting the check. Okay, you know what that means? You cannot point fingers at your subs. Nobody wants to hear it. They pay you to run the job. It's your problem. It's your headache. That's it. We've had walls fall down. We've had, it doesn't end. It just doesn't end. And you have to be on top of it 24/7. You have to trust and verify. I tell my guys all the time, don't believe anything anybody tells you. Nothing.
Yeah.
Whether they're showing up, just follow everybody, make sure they're doing their job, and make sure the clients are happy. That's it. That's it. Show up, do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. That's the key to success. That's it. There's no magic formula to this business.
So trust but verify is your mantra.
All the time. Made a lot of mistakes too. Oh yeah, he did. I've been working with him a long time. He did the right job, didn't do the right job. Wall fell down. I had to eat the wall, but I think the biggest thing is, standing behind your work and trying to make lemonade out of lemons, right? Like I could easily said, out of my hands, you deal with my insurance company. But no, I went in there, took 100 out of my pocket, fixed the wall and got it done. Right. So that means a lot too. So there's no, there's a lot of gold nuggets in business and how you run your business. It's really just, your word is everything. Your word is everything.
So do you do your clients contract only with you or also with your trade partners?
I'm the guy.
So it all runs through you.
All runs through me. The buck stops here, brother. You want to be with the big dogs. That's it. I don't want to, I designed it. I need to make sure it gets built accordingly, because a lot of these designers, I feel, just design the project and then hand it off to the homeowner, which is, I don't see how that's even possible, because what are you going to do with that design when you give it to the homeowner? They don't even know what they're looking at half the times.
Yeah.
You're basically making the homeowner the contractor, which is really not fair. So I think you owe them some sort of, follow up to make sure that design goes in according to what you planned out. I see it all the time. They get the print, they shop it out to 4 guys, they go with the cheapest guy, and nothing but a headache.
So how do you stop your clients from shopping you out?
Very simple. You have a level of trust when you go in there and you listen. It's referral pretty much, and you want to roll the dice and you want to put that pool. You want to dig a hole and spend $100,000 and have to move the pool. You knock yourself out. I've seen it before.
Yeah,
I've seen it. So you can do it the easy way, or you could save 20 grand, and there's two ways to do it: the easy way and the hard way. Most of us have to learn the hard way to start off, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So how do you? I'm just, most people listening are running businesses, so they're going to be interested in kind of your unique business model. How much money do you make on the design versus once you're doing the work? Like, you need to do the work to make money, right? Or do you make some on the design?
no, not necessarily, not necessarily, right? So I'm trying to come at this from your listeners, right? So your audience is landscape business owners. Are they maintenance guys? Like, what do we have? All sorts.
It's everything. It's everything. Pool guys, everything.
So you're trying to ask me, what's the, is there juice in the design? I wish I can just design. I wish I can just design. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the project manager.
Yeah.
But when you design the project, like I said, by default, they want you to install the job because you designed it, right? So they don't care who installs it. They just want to make sure that my stamp is on that project. That's it. My name is on that project and my reputation is on that. So they know that I'm on the hook.
Are you in LA? Did you mean actual stamp, or you just meant your name?
No, stamp, my name means more than my stamp, right? My name, my reputation. That's everything.
Yeah.
That's everything. 99% of this business is reputation.
Yeah. So do you ever have anyone have you design and then they walk away and they take the design?
Oh, yeah. And they shop it, or they use somebody else. It happens, but that's okay. It happens. But I've got enough for my fee it's your design now.
Yeah. Okay. So you make money. You definitely make money on the design and the project management.
Yeah, but the design is not where you're making money. The design is just covers there's no money in the design. Like, there's no, you know what it's like. There's peanuts.
Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking here, what do you charge, a $500,000 job with a
ranges from 5,000 to 25,000. Anywhere in between. Depends on how much detail they need, how much, how much hand holding they're going to need. There's not a come to my website, pick it. It's each one is custom designed for your project because I need to meet you first and we need to make sure we like each other. What I don't need is another headache, right? Yeah. If I get a headache, you're going to pay for the headache.
So based on the neediness and the detailed needs and expectations, you'll then set your design fee.
Absolutely. Some clients, hey, I'm easy, just you pick it all. Some, they have to be more involved and it drags on, right? So I have to factor that. I'm not right all the time. Sometimes you guess wrong.
Yeah.
You getting one of those typical clients. I mean, you have a lot of contractors on here and everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. All right. So you're charging between 1% and 5% of the project in design. Something like that.
Maybe it could be up to 10%.
10%. Yeah, right. Sorry, did my math wrong there. 1 to 10%. Okay. That's and then you charge.
One is a quick sketch. One is like a quick sketch. Few grand, quick sketch. Hand you the design. They don't need me to follow up. Here's your design, and you have your landscaper, and it's done, right? But that's not where I don't really do that much anymore because of the sheer volume of the work we're doing, right?
So how do you price out what is your fee for implementation and project management?
Varies. There's no set fee. There's not.
No, but
lump sum.
Give me some examples.
I like 50 grand. 50 is a nice number.
So 10% of a $500,000 job?
Yeah, 50 is a nice number, plus my general conditions. Plus, pay for, some office staff and some running around stuff, of course.
Wait. This is good. The number's adding up here the more you talk. So how much
it's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I'm with you.
Listen, either it goes like this. I'm just very transparent. It's either, listen, you're going to hire me to do the job. Whether I'm going to do the job, I have to make 20 to 30 points just to stay in business, right? So you can either pay me now or I'm going to bury it somewhere. I have to stay in business. So there's no There's no mystery, right? So on a $500,000 job, 10% is not a lot of money. It's usually more like 15%. It's not a lot when you add it all up. I got all the liability and so my insurance. There's a lot going on there.
And so, do you tell your
I've
client?
had clients that say, I'm going to Israel. I'll be back in 3 weeks. Make it happen. That's it. Those are the best.
Yeah.
No problem.
So do you tell your clients, I've got to make 20 points on this job? And,
they're all business people. They're all smart people. Like, they know it's in business. Like, I'm not going to come here and work for 4 months for $3,000. You have to pay me for 35 years of my education and my experience. That's what you're paying for. You're not paying for some guy to dig a hole in your backyard. And it takes time for them to understand that and need to educate them on the importance of having the right guy doing the right position, right? By far, that's it. Because if they don't know, Jeff, they're just thinking price. They're just going through price. They have enough. They're not educated enough, so they don't know. They don't know. A lot of them don't know. They just go on price.
So can I assume you talk as directly to them as we're talking right now?
Worse. I'm brutally honest. I'm telling you, it's just it works for me. It works. That's just I don't believe in that. That's it. And I can tell you if I can do it or I can't do it. If I say I'm going to do it, I get it done because nobody wants you to say, nobody wants a typical talking contractor. You know the biz. You know everybody in the business.
So
it talks.
This is good. So you talk worse, more what? More
worse.
Like, give me an example.
I've had really? I'll give you one the other day. He's a CPA and he's texting me and he's calling me about plants at the nursery. I said, do me a favor. No, but we've developed a rapport by that time where they understand what I'm coming from. I said, do me a favor. I don't tell you how to do a tax return. Go to the office and come home later. That's what I tell them. Leave me alone. I have to think. They get it. Like, it's funny. If you can get away with it, it works, right? So again, we've had that relationship. We built up that rapport. By the time we're planting it, it is what it is. I said, do me a favor, go inside, give me a double espresso, okay? And bring me some iced tea. That's what you can do for me. Just stay out of my way. They know, stay out of my way, right? I've been doing this so long, you can't educate. You can't tell me. You can ask questions. Sometimes I put them on a 3-question-a-day limit. 3 questions a day. Don't text me 5. Don't text me. Don't call me. It's nonstop. Then if they go over the limit, they cut off for 48 hours. I cut them off.
I love it. So I think what you're saying here, which the audience really needs to grasp is, if you believe in yourself and if you're authentic, you can stand up to your clients. It doesn't matter how much money they have.
Yeah. So if I'm a listener, you're new in the business, of course, and when you're early on, you're going to have to eat a lot of crow.
Yeah.
No doubt. I don't expect you to go in there and just start running your mouth when you're 21 years old. You better just shut up and listen, right? I got the gray hair, been doing this a long time. I can do it because I know more than most people in this business, right? Just through experience and education and hard knocks. That's the only reason I can get away with it.
Yeah. I think most people, though, don't recognize the value of their own experience. Like you do, but I think that most people, no matter where they are, if they're 30, 40, 50, or 60 years old, their skills are probably higher than they give themselves credit for. That's my perception. That's how I see. That's what I see a lot, where people kind of undervalue themselves and even therefore underperform with the client, not the work, but in their relationship with the client, they'll lower themselves down below where they should be.
I mean, I like to refer it as altitude, right? Like, I got to go. If you get convicted of murder, do you want the guy that just got out of law school, or do you want the guy who comes in there and says, I'm the guy to get this done? Like, and you don't want the guy that says, well, I think I can put your pool in. Like, you need to go in there and you need to step it up. Like, these people are spending a lot of money. They're trusting you with their family, their house. You can't go in there and say, well, we may be done in 6 weeks. You need to say, I'm going to be done on this date. No doubt. We've had that happen. You will be swimming by July 4th. No questions asked. And that's what they want to know if they're spending out 300 grand on a backyard. Like, I wouldn't want to hear it either.
300 grand sounds almost cheap for what
It's cheap. The pool's the cheapest part. I can't get, guys, the pool is the cheapest. The pool is 100 grand off the top. And you have, don't listen to what you hear. The pool's 100. The patio's another 50. The landscaping's another 50. The fence is 20. The lighting, you're up to 300 grand in the blink of an eye. Furniture, outdoor kitchen. I mean, it gets up. It could get to 500 easy.
Yeah. So what's the biggest project you've ever done?
Like just dollar wise or just the hardest? Like, I mean,
well, tell me either one.
I put hanging over the hardest one we've done is hanging over the cliff along the Hudson River, right? You got to pin into the hill. You know, the biggest job down was 700,000-800,000, maybe a little more, but you have the whole project. A lot of times we'll come in there and we'll do the front of the house, whatever, and then they'll call me back, repeat customers, they're ready for the pool. You know what I'm saying? A lot of repeat business.
Yeah.
Second family homes, summer homes. You know, I think what a lot of people miss out is when you get a good client, nurture that client. I mean, everybody's always chasing the next big thing. These guys they trust you, know you, and like you, right? So why we keep trying to reinvent the wheel?
You got 3 questions a day. I love that. Sorry, I just had to repeat.
By the way, it's a true story. That started with my father-in-law.
What do you mean?
True story. Because we'd go over on Sunday dinners on a Sunday night, and he would ask me freaking lawn questions, landscape questions. I'm like, it's Sunday night. And I said, you got 3 questions. That's how that started. It's a true story.
That's great.
Oh, what about this? I got bugs here. I was like, it's Sunday night. I've been dealing with landscape questions all week. You're going to get 3. Make them good. Make them good.
So,
well, that's fair. Don't you think that's fair? Like,
that's great. I love it. You've gone over your limit for the week. I'm cutting you off.
Yeah, that's it. You cut off because they text you pings and late at night. And it's just like, you know, especially if they're like not good questions. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the questions are, you know, get a little out there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what you mean. I don't know. I'm afraid to ask you, but is it rated PG? Can you answer that?
Just questions like, oh, you like the blue tile or the red or the gray tile, and you're like, the tree looks a little crooked, or the stuff that is not, you know. A guy texted me today, the grass is growing in the beds. Mushrooms are growing in the beds. 7:00 this morning, getting pings. I said, turn the water down. It's too much water. But I'll never not answer you. You understand? Like, I still answer my cell phone. I'm the guy. I'm not some of these guys that call the office, which I should be more. Oh, you got to leave so-and-so a message. You want me? You can call me on my cell phone. That's where you get 3 questions. That's my cell phone. My personal cell phone, you get 3 questions. That's it. You're not going to be, it's not there for your everyday abuse because you're sitting behind the desk, right?
How about weekends? Do you have rules against people contacting you?
People are good. People are pretty good. Like, they're pretty considerate. They know Sunday, like, come on, just give it a rest, right? I do a lot of work with a lot of Orthodox people. They don't work on Saturday, but they'll call you on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, it's really, I'm just trying to think about what else I can give your listeners value from doing this for so long. Like, so, what type of things do you hear that people are having struggles with that maybe I can help?
Well, that question's way too big, but I'll tell you the trend I have seen, which I've just done some podcasts on, is pools have been hot, and that might be cooling off a little bit right now. But coming out of the pandemic, I have a lot of clients that have bought pool companies, started pool companies. Where do you see it going?
Bad mistake. You know, it was like the flavor of the month. I'm telling you, man, if you don't know what you're doing with a swimming pool, you can really you can really get in a lot of trouble. The liability on the pool is a nightmare.
Yeah.
You're going to be getting called back 100 times. Like, Everybody sees the big dollar signs on the pool, and it's cooling off. Those entry level guys are going to get clobbered. They're going to get clobbered. You start a small pool company, you do, the $50,000 vinyl, the $80,000 vinyl. So you're going to get killed if you wanted to just put in a pool. What I like to give them is the entire environment, right? So it's not just a pool is just part of the landscape. It's just part of it. Whether you're doing a pool, fish pond, it just happens to be a part of the outdoor environment. That's really what it is. Yes, they're hot because everybody wants to be swimming, but it's really the outdoor environment. How everybody wants to be outside more since the pandemic. Not necessarily swimming, but just to be outside.
Yeah. No, I understand. Do you get time off? Are you able to take January, February, March off, or December, January, February?
I just got back from Hilton Head for a week, right? So the guys run the show. It took a long time to get there. But the last few winters, we actually been super busy just designing everything for the spring.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm trying to explain to people that it takes a long time, especially in this area, to get a pool permit. Don't call me in March that you want to be swimming by Memorial Day. You've already missed that boat. Yeah. Right now, we're booking for next year already because you're going to miss it. You need to have that permit in place by December 25th for next spring because it takes a couple of months to get it. And then you basically just line them up. We're starting jobs now that we'll start them in the fall and finish them up in the spring.
A couple months or 6 months or 9 months, depending.
You know what it's like. Trying to get a variance or something up here, it's been a nightmare, especially since the pandemic, because the towns have really backed up. They're not rushing to get them things done, and it just drags on.
So what's your favorite town to work in? You work in 3 states. What's your favorite area?
The one that doesn't give me a hard time so much about a permit. Definitely not Westchester.
What's that?
Upstate New York, somewhere in the farm.
Yeah.
Westchester's tough. Bergen County's tough. Connecticut's tough. Like they're tough.
So the one disadvantage I'm thinking of hiring you if I was a customer is you're not maintaining it, I don't think. So how does that work?
So the maintenance comes up with, there is an issue with maintenance on any property, right? It's very hard to find good maintenance people, right? Because in order to maintain the property, because everybody shows me pictures in the magazines, I says, you don't understand. To keep the garden like this, you need to have somebody here full time. What I'm going to design you is pretty much a low maintenance garden that looks beautiful all year, that's easy to maintain. Give the landscaper some easy instruction. When you start getting complicated with these Martha Stewart gardens and all, you really need to have the right gardener taking care of it. We use deer-resistant plants, hardy plants that do well in this area. I know what does well in this area, just through trial and error.
Is that a real thing, a deer-resistant plant? Don't they just eat anything when it's a tough winter?
Certain things they won't eat. Like you got to just, the grasses and the certain thing, but they've been getting a little, don't forget, more population, they're running out of room.
Yeah. So you handle that maintenance issue in part through your design, is what you're saying.
We try to minimize the maintenance through the design. You want to have large areas of grass, stuff that's easy maintainable. Perennial gardens, you want to contain them to a certain area so you don't have flowers through the whole property. You want to have splotches of color through the design.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of design elements with color, with different shades of green, reds. It doesn't have to be flowering all the time, right? Flowering, we pop some annuals in some containers around the pool for that summer look. That's all you really need.
So do your that's a good idea. Do your trade partners do the maintenance? Is that how you handle it?
It depends on the area. Sometimes we have we hand it over to trade. There's some bigger clients up in Chappaqua where we handle the maintenance. They don't want to deal with anybody. I handle the maintenance. I get the guys in there.
So you're doing
property management. Yeah. We kind of oversee the maintenance by default because we did a big job, and it's like, they don't mind paying me to kind of oversee it, make sure that they're doing the chemicals right, the weeding and stuff like that.
Does that make you money, or is that a pain for your business?
Again, it comes down to client. No, it's no money. It's just client relationships, right? I don't want anybody else. I don't want anybody else in my turf. You understand? I don't want another landscaper coming in, talking to my client and pushing me out. I need them to think of me 24 24/7. They have a relative, they have somebody else. It's top of mind, right? So even though that maintenance is not a moneymaker, they still see me every month or whenever I go over there. It's more about the money. It's more about keeping the relation. It's not about the money. It's about keeping the relationship, alive.
Yeah, I gotcha. So if the economy cut in half next week and you did 10 to 15 projects, does your business model work more or less?
Even better. Because what happens in the springtime, my problem is in the springtime. Everybody's busy because if you're not busy in the springtime, you better go find another career. So everybody's busy in the spring. Trade partners are busy. They're doing their own jobs. I gotta pull a little more, right? Now they're calling, looking for work because now it's August. Things are a little slow, right?
Yeah.
So if the economy cut in half, I can get whatever I needed, right? Because I have the work. Like the guy that stirs the straw that stirs the drink is the guy. The guy that can bring the work in is the guy. Like that, it. Like everything else, you can get anybody to dig a hole. I like to say the pen is mightier than the shovel, right? Meaning the guy that can design it and sell the job is way more valuable than the guy who can dig a hole.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. But I can't do it without them either, right? So it's a win-win.
Yeah. I like it. So design question here. If I went and looked at 20 of your jobs, would I see a Steve Griggs design style, or do they all look different?
I think because you see a lot of guys that have that one style, like whether it's contemporary or I kind of listen to the client first. I listen to the client. Like you have to really, the guys picked them today. You hear the lawnmower, the blowers?
No,
they're coming. So, no, like each job is different.
So there's not a Steve Griggs style. You don't have a theme that's
my drawings are my hand drawings are. I hand draw some of the stuff and that's how they say, oh, I saw one of your designs. Like they don't even know because they just tell by I hand draw them through with colors and markers and all, and they can just tell it's my design.
Yeah.
But the style itself, no, some are contemporary, some are natural. It just depends on the situation. I try to give the client what they really want, right?
Yeah.
By listening.
All right. Now I hear the lawnmower or the blower. Yeah. So do any of your employees sell for you, or are you the salesperson?
I'm the guy. I don't want to be the guy, but I'm the guy.
Yeah.
And it depends, though, Jeff. It depends on the client. It depends. If there's some smaller jobs, I will send the newer guys out there to sell, a lighting job or something like that. But I think it comes down to personal brand. Like I believe that, and try to like through social media, through the book, just trying to through the TV stuff or whatever else, through the podcasting. You want to try to position yourself as the go-to guy, right? They don't want you to send a second string person over there. If they're hiring you, they want to see you. And I'm trying to get a little better at handing them off once I'm on the job, handing them off to the project manager because they constantly want my attention. I need to kind of create a little layer.
I would think so. What's your vision for your business? Where do you go from here?
So I have a son in college who just graduated. My wife said he doesn't want to be in the business. I see how tired I come home. The vision is to create more, to spread out a little more nationally, I'm thinking. I kind of like the idea of going to other parts and doing the designs. That was pretty cool. I like that because you can get trade partners no matter what. You send out, you can travel wherever you want and get this. I don't like the idea of designing it on Zoom, right? I don't like that. I think it doesn't work for me because when they send you pictures and you can design it remotely, it's not the same as actually walking on the job site and putting your boots on the ground. I mean, I can't do it that way. It never comes out as good. You need to go see it.
I don't see how you could do pool placement from Zoom.
They all do it. They all do it. A ton of guys do it. They Google Earth. They do. You need to. It's not really just the pool. It's the whole landscape. How do you design a project from Google Earth in just some pictures? I can't.
You mean,
I mean, you get it.
You mean with high dollar projects with elevation changes, etc.
I can't. I'm old school. Like I need to really put my boots on and walk around on the job site to get a feel. You have to feel the site. So if you think you're going to sit in your computer and design remotely, because you see it now, that's the biggest thing right now. You get a design for $300 or something, but you want to watch yourself with that, make a mistake, because if you get a cheap design and it's not done properly, when it comes time to install it, you're going to get hammered with change orders. Change orders is work that wasn't covered in the design that's going to elevate the cost of the project. That's the scariest part for clients. What is this thing going to cost me? So by having a good design and a good plan with a schedule and execution, they can minimize their risk and they know where they're going to be instead of this thing just blowing up out of hand. Well, that's the worst thing you want to do. You have a 8-foot hole in your backyard and the thing's going to cost you twice as much than you originally budgeted.
Well, that does happen with ledge for the pool, right?
You gave them a heads up on the ledge. Listen, the only thing I can't see is the rock. Pretty much it. But you want to make sure that everything else is covered.
Yeah. Gotcha. So
it can get out of hand.
So tell us about your book. Why did you write a book? What's it doing for you?
So we came up with the book for, it's more than like, I think everybody should have a book, right? It raises your credibility, raises the credibility. I have a friend of mine, Grant Cardone, was actually, put the book, endorsed the book. We have high-end jobs in there, 35 years of high-end pictures. It's not really a long textbook. It's mainly just a picture book, hardcover book, where we kind of, I leave it with the clients. It sets you apart, right? That's it. It sets you apart because there's not many guys around here have a book.
Yeah.
Best-selling Amazon book. It sets you apart. So if you're listening to this podcast, how are you going to be different than every other landscaper that's coming around? They can put in a paper patio. You have to separate from the pack. You have to, like by a lot.
Yeah. So it's your business card. It's your portfolio.
Yeah, it's the portfolio. I mean, now it's Instagram and all that, but the book, time, effort, money was spent on that book, right? It's something that they leave on their coffee table, right? Yeah. It's not just a business card it's not an Instagram post. It's it's an actual it's a book, hardcover book.
Okay. Do you make the promise or do you imply that
it's a loser? By the way, it's not a money maker.
Yeah.
It's not a money maker. No way. Like it's not maybe it's the return on investment. Maybe they would have hired me because I had the book, but it's all part of the whole thing. But you're not making money selling your books on Amazon.
No. Trust me, I know. What did you invest in? How much money in to get that book?
The book was close to $50K.
Yeah.
The photographer, the publisher, the printing, the editor, and a shit ton of work.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. $50K. All right. So
40-ish, I think. I think the printing alone was like 25. And I think everything else was, probably close to,
listen, 5 jobs with an extra 10,000 each, and you've broken even.
People got to think, you got to you have to invest in yourself, man. If you're starting, you got to don't go out and buy the new F350 dually. If you're new on this and you're listening to this podcast and you're new in the business, you want to learn how to grow, put it back into yourself. I don't know how else to phrase it, but invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Take one of Jeff's courses, right? Sign up for his coaching, spend the money and put it back in. You don't need your truck lettered up, wrapped. Get the education first. That stuff will come.
I like that. I mean,
sure.
I was thinking I was considering what you just said, but I like that. Get the education first. And
Get
then
the education you can't be that. You can't tell me that by you wrapping your $80,000 truck is going to bring you more business. So when you go to the job site and you open your mouth and you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know how to run your business, you don't know how to be efficient, you don't know how to run man crews, you just wasted all that money. You need to be able to run your business.
I love it. I love it. Hey,
that's like I can't even believe. But a lot of people don't really understand that. Like, it baffles me that they don't understand that portion of it. I can't even if you ever need somebody to talk to, Jeff, give him my phone number. I will call them up and I will set them straight.
I bet you will.
I mean, you really?
It's funny.
Hey, I'm gonna sign up for Jeff's coaching class, or I'm gonna buy a new dually and wrap it. What do you think? It's a no-brainer.
Amen. A couple more questions about your book here before we wrap up. So how many books have you given away so far?
Hold on. Let me show you.
He's going to get his book. He's run up. There we go.
So it's a hardcover book, right?
Yeah.
And it's got all jobs in it that we've done. It's a big book, hardcover. It's called Straight Dirt. New York's premier landscape designer tells it like it is, right?
So for those listening on the podcast, this podcast is also available on YouTube, and we're looking at the book right now on screen.
Oh, good.
It looks beautiful.
So that's a compilation. Yeah, a compilation of 35 years of jobs that I've done, right? So how many have I given out? I don't know, a couple of hundred, I think, a couple of hundred.
So from a marketing
I don't give them to everybody. I don't give them to everybody.
Gotcha.
If I think you're going to be a good client and we're going to do business, I give you a book.
And so how many jobs, can you think of some jobs where you think that made the difference?
No, I can't. I'd like to think it does, but I think it's a combination of, I think if it comes down to me and another guy, and we're both equally talented, and we both have the same credentials and we have the same price, the book will put it over the edge 100% of the time. That I believe. Mm-hmm. That sets you apart, right? Guy has a book, a best-selling book. What do you have? I use it to my leverage, and I use it a lot to my leverage,
right? I have to think, though, that it's hard to price shop you versus somebody else, just given the way you work.
I would like to think that, but it's always about price. It's about price. I mean, they all cry about price.
Yeah.
You give it to them for free and they want it for double free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They just, I don't know if it's a New York thing. It's just.
You're saying no, I get what you're saying. You're saying the price has to be good. It can't be out of this world.
No, they don't even know what a good price is. They just want a deal, right? So they just want a deal. They want a price off. They want something. So I don't do price reductions. I don't do it. I leave with my best price. This is the price. This is what I need to do a good job and to stay in business. But I will throw in I'll put the flowers in the pots around the pool. I'll give them some perk to make them feel whatever. You know what I'm saying? People just want to feel warm and fuzzy that they got a little something. That's all. It doesn't cost me a lot. Yeah. But the value to them is a lot, right?
Right. So you don't take, I promote this all the time. You don't take away margin. You just throw in something that has a perceived high value.
Exactly. For me to go to the nursery and pick up a bunch of annuals and do your pots around the thing, I don't know, $1,000 maybe. Yeah. It's not like whacking off 20 grand off a job. I don't have enough fat in the job to make up that 20 grand, and they appreciate that little extra effort, right? That, it's that little extra touch that puts you, and I always throw in annuals when we finish a job. I don't charge them. You want to leave that place looking excellent. So you make a little less, big deal. Oh, I told you I was going to give you 9 junipers. I only, to me, it doesn't matter. I don't do it I wish I did it more for the final dollar amount, but I think it's really, leaving the client with a wow factor. If I didn't wow you, I didn't do my job.
Yeah.
Like if it's not wow, I'm very disappointed.
I think that's a good point because your job could go from permit to installation 3, 6, 9, 12 months. They're tired of you by the end.
Tired of me. And I'm tired of them. And I let them know, hey, you don't want to be there. You want to be out of there when they want to use their backyard. Nobody wants you hanging around all summer. I don't care if it's an interior renovation, exterior. They don't want you there showing up with 2 or 3 guys. When we come in there with 10, 12 guys and we get the job done. That's what they like. They like action. I'm telling you, I like a lot of action. Machines, noise. You got to move fast. You can't show up with 2 or 3 guys and it'll just looks like paint drying, right? It's not my personality.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So I like that you give a little extra at the end. I think in French Canadian down here, they call that lagniappe, something a little extra.
A little pop, a little something. A couple extra bushes. When I leave, the job has to look right.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know, whatever that takes. Sometimes it doesn't take anything. Sometimes it does. I'm just trying to think of what else can I offer you guys, you listeners, that would really, be the golden.
This is good. You've done this is good stuff here. Have you ever been sued? Big lawsuit?
Yeah, been sued. It's a nightmare. Like when that wall fell down, it happened last summer. The wall fell down, 8-foot wall, disaster, bro. Like mud in the pool. He's an attorney. It was just bad. Like I had to go after the subcontractor. He didn't follow. It was just a mess. I don't want to talk about it, but I looked the guy in the eye and I said, whatever it takes, I will get this job done for you. That's it. He had that and that was it. No problems with the homeowner. He understood. I cleaned that place up within 12 hours. I called the pool company. We dumped the pool. I called the trucking water company truck, filled it up that day. He was swimming that weekend. That's what people want to see. They don't want to hear you complaining and as woe is me. Fix it. Just fix it. Something goes wrong. You need to just fix it. Like
that probably helped your reputation more than if you had just done an average good job.
I don't know, but I just couldn't leave the guy. It was bad.
Yeah,
it was mud. Yeah, you've seen the mud in the pool. It's just like you had to dump the pool. We had to dump the pool. That's the quickest way. Dump it, clean it, and then refill it right away with tanker trucks to fill it up so you can swim that weekend. It was a little cold, but we got it cleaned up.
Yeah.
And I think that was the way I had to turn. I had to really that's what people want you to. Nobody wants talk, man. Too many people talk. Action, right? It's about the action. But there's other times we've been sued. You try to get out of it, and you try to. You don't want to go. You don't want to litigate. You want to keep everybody happy, right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't get to that point. When the wall fell down, I had to go after the other person, but I've never been sued where I didn't work it out after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Things happen. You fix it. You got to fix it. It's going to cost you more to litigate. Nobody keeps that in mind. You think you're going to go sue somebody? It's going to cost you 20, 25 grand to sue. Just take care of what you have to take care of. It'll save you time and money. I got that advice from my attorney, actually, who told me He goes, just
that's why divorce attorneys should be against the law, right? Mediation. I know I've just jumped subjects here, but it's like you don't make any money by suing. You don't make any money when lawyers get in the middle of it.
There's no money. So just work it out.
Yeah. So one last question here before we go. Sure. Any predictions for the future you see for our industry?
Yeah, absolutely. It's growing. Um, People are getting outside more. I think they're being educated more on what the benefits of being outside, the benefits of. I've had clients say to me, I don't really want to fix up my backyard. I said, why? She goes, because I never go out there. I go, you never go out there because it looks like it does, right? They don't get it. They come from Manhattan, they come up here to the suburb, and they don't realize what it's like to be outside and creating out. Basically, all I'm doing is I'm extending your interior space to your outside, right? The season here is very short, so people want to enjoy their outside for those 3 months, and they don't want you dragging your butt to do the project the whole year. So you need to get in and get out so they can enjoy the outside. The industry is very good. It's come a long way since I've started, but from what I understand, it's not as in demand as I remember when I was going to college, like there was 50 people in the landscape program. Now there's like 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of guys that have big companies and they said the same thing. It's like everybody wants to be an influencer. I think everybody, like in the Israeli war, everybody has to go to the army for 2 years. Hands down, everybody should work manual labor for a summer. Don't care. Best work ever. Outside, digging holes. It should be mandatory.
That or teaching. If you can't go out and do work, you got to go teach for a year. You got two choices.
You better figure something out, but you better get out there and do a little manual labor. It keeps you honest.
Yeah.
All
right. So, well, this has been a pleasure and a surprise, and I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. Tell us where we can get your book if we want to order it online.
Oh, it's on Amazon, called Straight Dirt. You want to hit me up, email steve@stevegrigsdesign.com. I can email you a digital copy if you'd like. I have it in digital form as well. It's again, same with you, Jeff. Anybody, the wrapping of the truck or taking a course with you, please give them my number, please. I will definitely let them know you need to use Jeff to further your education, because you need to really know how to run your business. And Jeff, knowing you came from the long line of people that you come from, I definitely know you're qualified, because I know your family up in the Connecticut area, top guys, man. Both of those companies, Glengate and Scott Pools.
Yeah.
Huge. Huge. I mean, they were like the guy. We come across you, Shoreline, and there was like 3 or 4, the guys, right? Glengate was never the cheapest, but they always did the best job, right? Same with Scott Pools. You guys were not the cheapest. No way, right?
Well, there's always somebody.
Good job.
Always somebody cheap.
Oh, you can always get somebody cheaper, but you guys did a good job, and that's why a lot of people use you, because of the follow-up with the warranty work and all that. Listen, it comes down to price or cost, right? I can give you a cheaper price, but the cost of owning that asset's going to be, if they use inferior products, you're going to be calling me back, change the heater, change this. It's going to cost you more over the long term. You better, one of my sayings in the book is do it once, do it right? Just bite the bullet, spend the extra money, and you don't have to worry about this project again.
Yeah. But I think the reputation is also built on, if you don't do it right the first time, you better do it right the second time. When there's a problem, you better fix it fast, and fix it right. If it comes to a third time, you've lost.
Also, a big thing is you can spend as much money as you want, but if you have one plant that dies and you said you're going to come do it and you don't come and replace that $8 azalea, your reputation just tanked. I don't care how beautiful it looked. You need to stand behind your word, man. Yeah. Sure.
Steve, this has been excellent. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, if anything I do to help you out, hit me up. I'll do the same for you. Definitely, if you can email me your brother's contact information, you never know. Hey, it's all about connecting and networking, right?
Will do.